Can you introduce yourself and tell us how long you've lived in Putnam?
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, my name is Peggy Weaver. It was Aldrich. That was my maiden name. And I was born in Putnam, grew up in Putnam, graduated from Putnam High. And then Bruce and I moved away for probably 5 or 6 years. And then actually, I guess when I married him, I don't think I ever came back, although we go to church in Putnam. I feel like I'm always here. But we do live in Killingly now. Yeah.
Okay. How old were you in August of 1955?
I was 5 years old, and it's amazing I still have some memories.
Can you describe the day the flood hit? What was the weather like, and what were people doing that you remember?
The only thing I remember is this horrendous, we were living on South Main Street, so it wasn't too far away from where the river is, but it didn't affect us. I just remember this horrible hurricane. And was it Diane?
Yes.
Yeah, my cousin's name was Diane. And we kept teasing her, they named this horrible hurricane after you, after the fact,
Right.
But I just remember the wind and the horrid rain, but I don't remember anything like where all the damage was. I saw after the fact.
Okay. Did you see the water start rising at all? Did you see any of that?
No, I didn't. I saw what it did after the fact.
Okay, and your neighborhood wasn't affected where you lived?
No. But my family members were.
Okay. Where were you with your family, and did anyone you know need rescue?
I don't know if they needed to be rescued or if they got out of their homes ahead of time. But my uncle and aunt, 2 uncles and aunts, and my cousins, like my mom's first cousins, so they were almost like extra aunts for me.
Right.
They lost their homes. They lived in several duplexes in a row, because prior to that, they would watch me, and when they were still in their homes, I remember my Baba George would come home and give me a dime to walk down to Rookie's Market, which also went down the river, to get in the toilet paper rolled ice cream. And then I'd walk back and talk to everybody. And this was shortly before the flood. It was that summer that I remember that. And everybody knew each other, and half of them were my family.
Wow. What do you remember about how the town of Putnam came together after the flood?
I don't have a lot of recollection. I know we all had to, is that the typhoid time? I can tell you, yeah. I know we had to all get typhoid shots, and from the shot, I almost got typhoid. I had a really high fever. I kept passing out. They had a visiting nurse come and stay, or constantly stop by my house. My mom had to stay with me. We had family staying with us. So I was sleeping on an army cot in my parents' bedroom because someone else had lost their home, was staying in my bedroom. And we always went to my grandmother's for meals because she had 2 kitchens and could cook for a large quantity. My mom usually went over and helped. So did my aunt, and so did the people that lost their home. But they were stressed. They had lost everything. And I remember them being sad. I remember that sadness and gratefulness that, we were able to help them out. And some were family, some were friends that had lost homes. It wasn't just family, it was friends too.
Were there people or groups who really stood out by helping others that you can remember?
I remember them talking about our church, Living Faith. Now it's Living Faith, but it was Putnam Methodist Church. I remember them doing things, and I don't know what they did, but I remember them saying they were helping. Right. But I was only 5, so, and they, at the time we were on South Main Street, it was just up the street from where we were living. So I remember my mom probably baked and bought stuff up. She loved to bake. So I don't remember more than that, other than the Elks holding this typhoid thing. Yeah.
How did the flood change Putnam in your eyes as a child?
the bridge got wiped out, if I remember. And when we had to go, I'm going to talk about the water thing.
Yes.
We couldn't use the water in town, so until, I guess, they had to reseed, treat it, and we couldn't drink it. So we went up to Franklin's apple orchard on Route 21. It's right by Fox Road and 21 there, and they were friends of ours, members of the Grange that my parents were in. So we went up to get water. My dad's loading the water into the car, and it looked like the town of Putnam had exploded. I can still remember the white light in my head. And so my father was panicked that my sister and my mom might be blown up or didn't know. And so he literally picked up my brother and me and threw us into the car. And I don't know if he's ever driven that fast down Heritage Road to get back to Putnam to check on my sister and mom and my grandparents, and just wondered what had happened. But that was the magnesium plant that had exploded. But up there, it looked like the whole town had gone.
Wow. What do you think people today don't realize about what you went through, about what your family went through?
Unless you went through it, you probably can't own it. I mean, it was a fearful time. Like, I got sick, and my family members lost homes, and then and just from that, they were never going to lose their home again, because they built or bought homes on the highest part in Putnam, Prospect Street, Charles Street. That's where they went to live. Wilkinson Street, one uncle went there. It's interesting that, nothing was going to happen like that to them again. It was so traumatic. And I don't even know how they got better. I mean, my grandfather had a store in Putnam, and we were worried about that. He had a shoe store right next to, it's where Cargill Chevrolet has their parking lot. Mm-hmm. He used to have a shoe store there next to the Bradley Theater.
Oh, wow.
And we were worried about that, but fortunately he did not have much, if any, damage.
Right.
Because I remember it being open later and going in and taking what shoes I wanted.
No.
Yeah, but I do remember us all talking about hoping the new library was going to be okay. It hadn't opened yet, and we were worried about that because we were looking forward to going to the library, the new library.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were worried about that.
If you could pass along one lesson from that time, what would it be?
I guess trust your parents to make sure that you're going to be okay. They were very reassuring. You're okay. We're going to take care of you. And I guess the importance of helping others. I do remember that, and I try to do that. I volunteer for all kinds of things, just to try to help others. And I think that probably may have come out of that, because it was kind of drilled in, help those that need help.
Right. Is there a memory from that time, good or bad, that still sticks with you today?
Let me see which one we didn't get.
Okay. Gladly.
Yeah. No, other than, like everybody, like having the extra people in the house, at times when I felt well enough to enjoy it, I enjoyed hearing their stories and hopefulness that it was going to work out. They'd find a new place, grateful for what they were getting from others, and trying to make plans about what was going on. And my dad was a taxi driver, and I remember him talking about, well, can't go that way. I had to reroute everything today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because roads were wiped out,
right.
And I don't remember what happened where the current shopping center is. I don't remember what was there other than the library.
Yeah.
But I remember that was a big deal. Just them talking about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share that you think people should know?
Just yes, be prepared for anything that could happen, you know, and help others, because truly that was happening there, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember, and maybe, I don't know if this was from a video I saw of it, or if Dad actually took us down there. He loved to drive, even through crazy things. And I remember seeing mud, and just like kind of what would seem like chaos, but people were chipping in and doing what they needed to do to get things cleaned up and move on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your memories with us. We appreciate
you're
that.
welcome. It's amazing. It was 70 years ago.
I know. That's why we're doing it.
Oh
it was
my
70
gosh,
years ago.
70 years ago.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And hopefully with the dam, I remember them putting in the Thompson Dam so that wouldn't happen to us again.
Right.
And I pray that that holds and it works so Putnam doesn't need to experience that again, because it was frightening for a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, thank you very much,
welcome.
Peggy.